What is happening? YouTube, it is Trev. I want to address, we're going to talk about rain. We've been talking about rain coin for the past few days because I like it. I like the project. So there's a few things I just want to show you on the chart and such as far as where we are right now. But before I get to that, I want to take a couple minutes, if you will indulge me, and just address something really quick. And I want to try and be as delicate about this as possible. Although those of you who know me know I'm kind of a bull in a china closet. It's very difficult for me to kind of sugarcoat things sometimes. But when I learned about this project, one of the things that I did was I got into the Telegram room because it's often a way to kind of catch up real quick if you can read through the pinned messages. You can kind of catch up real quick on what's going on right now. Kind of learn who's who in the community as far as maybe, if there are any leadership or anything like that. So that's what I did. It didn't take long for people to realize I was someone who had a YouTube channel. And so we talked about that a little bit. And the more I began to learn about rain, the more I really, really liked it. And I understood why people who I'm close to were telling me about it and trying to get me involved with it. And I enjoyed my time in the Telegram room. But this is just, it was a couple weeks ago, right? It wasn't that long ago. What I found in this Telegram room, it was actually pretty refreshing, is that it's chock full of people who just want to talk about trading, who want to talk about crypto in the market. What you don't find there is a bunch of, half-naked girl memes and, the things that you find in typical Telegram rooms full of kids, really. You know what I mean? This is what hypes them up. You didn't have that here. It was more of an adult kind of serious group. And I was having a good time with it, really. Bunch of really, really nice people. And into that I hold a bunch of really, really nice people. But in every Telegram room, and I've been in a lot of them over the last couple of years, I've spoken with a lot of different projects, been in a lot of Discords and Telegram rooms. In almost every one of them, there's always one or two people, I'd say, who are kind of the troublemakers of the group. Sometimes more persistently than others. Now, in a lot of Telegram rooms, it really isn't tolerated. Depends on how you run your Telegram room, right? Because a lot of them don't tolerate it, and these people will be warned. They basically just start trouble for the sake of starting trouble. This is what tickles their funny bone or whatever. They're warned, and if they persist, basically they just get banned. You try to keep them out of your Telegram room. There are other Telegram rooms that are, a little bit of the opposite. I mean, if you, even if you're not trying to start trouble and you just come in with legitimate questions, and you're not just kind of floating with the dogma of the group and everything is perfect, everything is sunshine and flowers, they'll kick you out for that, right? But this particular group, it just seemed really even-keeled. However, like I said, these people who always seem to be there, all of a sudden, one day, a couple of days ago, reared their ugly head. And just real briefly, I had made a video, and in all of my videos, I've had issues with this in the past. This is the reason this happens. In all of my videos, I always encourage people to leave comments. However, since I've gotten my channel's grown a little bit, it attracts a lot of scammers. And so a rule of thumb for me is that if I see a link, I'm not clicking on it to find out what it is. I'm not even trying to figure it out. I'm just deleting it. Because in a lot of people's YouTube videos, right, a lot of other people that I know that make YouTube, there have been some people that have really been scammed, it's just a rule of thumb. If you see a link, you get that link out of there. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have an option for like just preventing links from even being posted, right? So I made a video about rain, and someone posted a link. I did not know what the link was. I wasn't trying to figure out what it was. I just did what I always do, and I deleted it immediately. Well, after going into the Telegram room, I realized that, because I saw this link posted in there as well, and I realized what it was a really nice write-up explaining the whole project, really, in great detail by Calvin. It was wonderful. And so nobody had even known that I deleted it, but I volunteered the information. I said, hey, listen, I didn't know what this link was. Someone posted it in my comment section of a video, and I deleted it. Whoever posted it, I would love if you would repost it. I think that was pretty clear, okay? But the troublemakers, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but decided that they wanted to kind of comment on that and call me out for it as if what I was doing by deleting it was something negative for the community. It made absolutely no sense at all. And I really questioned whether they really read my entire message, my entire post, which said, yeah, I didn't realize what this was. I always delete links, but please repost it because that's something that we should have. But still, they wanted to challenge me on it. And it went back and forth briefly for a little while. And then someone else jumps in, suggested that I was being rude, that I had a shit attitude. And I'm like, again, those of you who know me for a little while know that I'm the nicest guy in the world. I always want to help out. But if you start shit with me, I am not a turn the other cheek kind of guy. I'm gonna tear you a new asshole. But that's just not the vibe of this Telegram room. And so I had two choices, and this is the choice I made. I made the choice to basically just leave from this Telegram room because it was about to get really ugly with these people who were clearly just starting trouble with me for no reason at all. I didn't understand it. So I left. And since then, I have had several DMs, several messages, quite a bit actually, from quite a few people in the Telegram room, basically telling me, yes, these people basically were called out. They, after I left, they were, basically told that, they were being inappropriate. And also, from several people, I come to understand that these people were perpetual troublemakers, maybe even bullies. A couple people use that term, right? And they asked me to come back to the Telegram room, which I have declined to do, and I will continue to decline to do. And it's not because I do not enjoy the Telegram room. It's not because I did not enjoy the people that were in there or have any negative feelings about this project at all. As you can clearly see, I will continue to talk about this project because I think it's a great one. It's just that I'm a Boston area construction guy. What we do all day long is we yell and scream and swear at each other. And when somebody gives you shit, you give it back to them. If you get pushed, you shove, right? This is just the world I come from. But in this particular Telegram room, I don't want to bring that vibe to it. It's not a vibe that's there. And I have to think to myself, well, for the people who are telling me that these particular people, are, continual bullies and troublemakers or whatever, the fact that they're still there and no one has banned them or warned them or anything tells me that this particular group would choose to kind of tolerate it and let it go and let it brush off your shoulder and ignore it to kind of keep the peace. I'm not a brush it off your shoulder kind of guy. I'm not a suck it up kind of guy. When confronted with something like that, I'm going to attack back. and it's going to change the whole vibe in that Telegram room, which I'm not important enough to do. There's no reason. I'm just there 2 weeks. That Telegram room's been up for months, right? Everybody has established their place. Who am I to come in and all of a sudden start bitching at people that haven't previously been bitched at? They've been allowed to do whatever they're doing. So it's better for me and for everybody if I'm just not in the Telegram room. Ultimately, it's not that important, right? Whether I'm there or not there. Anybody who wants to reach me, they've obviously had no problems reaching me. You can DM me on Telegram. You can get me on X, right? Formerly Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I'm still going to talk about the project. Just understand, I'm going to talk about Rain when it's doing good. And if it's not doing so good, I'm still going to talk about it, right? I'm going to let people know that. For those of you who are just kind of getting to know me, know that the reason I have any followers at all, the people who follow me, they follow me because they get my honest opinion. Whether something is going good, whether something is going bad, I will talk about that. I do not sugarcoat or blow smoke up anybody's behinds about something, or if things are going bad, I just won't talk about it. That's not what I do on my channel. We talk about, honestly, the struggles sometimes of projects and the successes of projects, right? So that's the way it's gonna kind of be. If you want to hang with me and if you're cool with that, then that's the way it's going to be. If you're not cool with that, if you're kind of a confirmation bias kind of person, my channel probably won't be good for you. And you might be happy right now while things are going real well with Rain, and I'm talking about that. But if all of a sudden, for whatever reason, things start to drop, I'm going to talk about that too. So just so we all are on the same page and know where we are. I really love the project. I love the project. I love the idea. I think it's brilliant. And I think there's a really, really lot of really good people supporting it. And you have my support, okay? But you're going to have it from afar, unfortunately. All right. I'm sorry that took so long to kind of get into that. I really would love to have made that a lot shorter. But anyway, it is what it is. What I really want to talk about right now is kind of what's happening with the chart and where we are. Okay, so yesterday I kind of talked about it on Twitter a bit, and we were at this point where it was coming down, it was dropping. I think you can see my pointer, right? It was kind of coming down. And we were at a point where it was either going to go up or it was going to go down. I was guessing it was probably going to go down. And sure enough, there was a little bit of a sell-off. And it did go down. I got to wait for my mouse to unfreeze here. It does this to me sometimes. I'm very sorry. I don't know why it does that. Where are we? Oh, here it is. And so, yeah, it came down a little bit. But here's what I want you to watch, right? So where we are right now is at, you see off to the right in red, you see it's $13.15, okay? That's where we're sitting right now. You see there's a red kind of perforated line that shoots right across. I want you to follow that across and follow my pointer. So this is where we are, right? And if you follow it across, it comes right across the top of the previous run up, okay? It ran up, and that's a point where it resisted. It resisted right there. It ran up enough that people decided they wanted, for whatever reason, to take some profits. Again, whether they were just taking the profits and taking the money, going into something else, or they were taking the opportunity to sell a little, wait for a little pullback, and then put that money back in and pick up more. It really doesn't matter. Bottom line is we had a pretty good little sell-off here at that point. It resisted at that point. Pulled back, and then it's done this consistent higher highs and higher lows, staying in this track, this upward trajectory, right? This bullish momentum, and it's come back up. Oh, again with this mouse, I'm very sorry, but I'm trying to show you something here. So we came back up to that red line, and with those two really big green candles that we talked about the other day, a couple of really big buyers that came in, we shot past that resistance. Came past it, and then people did what they normally do, okay? It's a new, really kind of high area, so they're going to take some profits, and that's kind of what happened, right? So we saw it come back down a little bit, but here's the interesting thing. It came back down to that point that was previously resistance and it bounced off of it. It became support for a little while. This was just a matter of hours ago because this is the 1 hour chart, right? Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Spread this out a little bit. Okay, so you can see it came and it bounced off of that area, came back up again, and now it's come back down to test that area again. And here we are at that previous resistance, which, was just the support. What is it going to do? Well, a chart only shows you what has already happened. It does not show you what's going to happen to come. So there's a couple different options here of what it could do. This is the second time it testing that area, seeing whether or not it is actually going to be an area of support now. A previous area of resistance, will it become an area of support? And we kind of, that's what happens, right? Comes a bit of a floor and we go up from there. That's one scenario. The second scenario is that on this second test, we'll find out over the next couple of hours here, it could break through. It could come back down, okay? And we could start a little bit of maybe a downward trend, a little bit of a regression, which is going to be, for some, a really good opportunity to kind of either pad your bags, pack your bags back up, or maybe for some others who have been watching this thing and watching this bullish momentum, to maybe it's a better point for them to get in, right? Maybe they've been waiting for that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. The third scenario is that we could travel along this line for a little while, maybe bouncing up and down above it and below it. And maybe rain has found kind of its price, right? Maybe this is just where it wants to sit for a while, waiting for, something, right? Something to happen that's good, something to happen that's not so good, before it actually decides where it wants to go. But maybe it's kind of found its home in this $13 area. I don't really think so, because of the tokenomics and because of the nature of the holders here who just like to buy and hold this thing. Because of the very low supply, it's very difficult for this thing, I think, to find a price and just travel in that lane. It's going to go up or it's going to go down, I think, right? So I'm very curious to watch exactly what happens here in the next couple hours. Now, catalysts, right? The MEXC listing is coming up. We'll talk about that in a little while, but that in a little while there's potentially another catalyst, okay? Because Calvin will be joining the Meme Alliance, which is another project that I've been involved with for really since the beginning of it. We'll be joining the Meme Alliance X Space. They do an X Space once a week, usually on Fridays. Today they're doing it on Saturday, where a bunch of different projects have the opportunity to come in, join the space, and talk about their projects, okay? Some have actually joined the alliance, and that's a whole nother thing, right? But some just, if it's a good project, a good team, solid, transparent, trustworthy, right? On the right track, with the right intentions. I mean, these are the kind of projects that we like to come and have talk during these spaces and let all the other communities kind of know about them. And what often happens is that you end up with some new holders, right? Because you're getting before some new eyes. Now, Calvin, as we've seen on my channel and elsewhere, is really, really good at explaining what he and Adam have created here. When he's done talking about it, it leaves very little doubt in people's minds that this is something that's unique and something that actually has a really lot of potential. So he'll be on today at 1 o'clock Eastern to chat. And, I've posted about it a million times in various areas. So it's easy to find that. I'll even try to link it in this video if you haven't seen it. I'm sure that it will be in the Telegram room when it starts, the link, so that everyone can jump in. But that could potentially be another catalyst. We could see some people who put eyes on this thing who didn't previously have eyes on it that decide, okay, well, it's a little lower right now, so let me jump in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, again, and I like to show this, right? Let me stretch it out and let me come down and get out of my regression tool for a minute. Let me get rid of this and go to just a trend line, because this is ultimately, even though it's come down, we're still doing this, right? We're still doing that. Quite an incline. Quite an incline. This project is doing very, very well. Very, very well. Nothing about it coming up or down these little bits bothers me at all. That's just normal trading stuff, right? Ultimately, it is doing much better than a lot of other projects. So you got a good one here. All right. Anyway, that's it. I'm sorry about all the kind of crying about this, that, and the other thing, if you took it that way at the beginning. But I just wanted to get that out because so many people have been talking with me and DMing me about it. I just kind of wanted to speak my piece in one area where everybody can see it and understand. I didn't leave, just to be kind of an ass. I left actually to preserve the integrity and the vibe of the Telegram room. Because I'm just kind of a rough, gruff kind of guy, and it's not every place that that I fit in. And thank you for welcoming me. I'm really, really flattered by those who have reached out and said, "Hey, please come back. We really like you being there." I enjoyed being there too, but as it stands right now, it's not probably a really great fit. But again, not important, okay? Because what is a great fit for me so far is this whole project Rain, and I look forward to the relationship moving forward in the future. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.